Okay, now we're ready to turn this unit back on. You do that by pushing the home button again, and the Android animation should pop up. Now, one thing to note is if the battery is low, it will not. The system will still show up. The little robot will still dance around, but later at the loading screen, the unit will just shut off. So you definitely want to charge your unit or plug into a wall outlet when you first receive it from China or from any other sellers. As you can see from the system in the video, it's running Android 1.6. This unit has, as far as I know, it's not upgradable to Android 2.2 or even 2.1 or any other newer versions. So you're pretty much stuck with what you get on this pad. And once this thing loads, I will show you some of the regular apps that's in here and some of the problems I have seen just in the last 48 hours that I've used. Okay, here we have the browser. That's actually pretty useful. You plug it in, and since I already paired it with my network, you will see a little antenna right there. That means it's connected to network. The unit is a bit slow. As you can see, it took about 10 seconds to load a regular Google page. Now, one thing about the wireless, if you start switching programs or going to different apps, it will actually die on you, and you will have to shut down the machine, power off the unit by hitting the home button, go to the power, and cycle through the power in order to get the wireless back. I'm pretty sure that's one of these things you just have to live with. Again, what do you expect from a $99 Chinese product, right? Okay, now this is Google, and let's just hit bookmarks. You can bookmark any page. I can just gonna bookmark going to the Yahoo page, and as you can see, the pages displayed is the mobile version of the Yahoo page. You will have to go to Android Marketplace or some other sources to get a better browser, maybe Opera Mini, who knows. Alright, let's go with mail. This is what I have primarily used for. Click on mail, and since I'm already logged in, it will just display your mail. You can have your folders, your inbox right now, and then you can check to see if you have any other mail. The touch screen is pretty responsive, considering I did not take this plastic part away, because I'm probably gonna go try to sell it on eBay, maybe for 20 bucks less than what I pay for. I certainly don't want to keep this thing, you know, past a few weeks of playing. Okay, you can scroll up and down. There's a zoom button here. Okay. Now let's say if you finished your browsing, you can just hit the back button or the home button to go back to the main Android desktop. That's pretty much the same. Now, did you notice how long it takes to go back? It's about 5 seconds from quitting the app to going back to the desktop. Now, next loaded here is an application called iRead. It reads ebooks. Unfortunately, it does not support PDF or EPUB format, so I'm quite disappointed with that. My Music is the music app. It comes with 3 sounds preloaded, and I will suggest you delete that because I really don't think there's copyright here with this. But I'm just gonna start playing it. And I'm not sure if this thing's picking up the music. but the internal speaker is rather weak. I would definitely plug in an external speaker or a headset if you want to use this as an MP3 player. You can pause that. Let's say go back, and then go back. You're back to your application store. Photos, pretty much the same. Searching for your photos. Let's take a look at this one. Now, I'm not sure if you can decide on this recording, but the color depth is not very high. You know, if I had to guess, it's more like a 16-bit coloring. So don't expect to play high definition stuff. A, the system won't handle it. B, the screen won't handle it. Let's close that. Let's get back. And my videos. Now it supports quite a few, like AVI, and this is the video up. Okay, there is a test video here. Let's just run it. The video is pretty smooth, but if I'm standing in front of it, you will definitely know it's nothing high definition. I'm thinking it's more of an encoded to fit for a cell phone, because this unit itself is not very powerful. It runs on a VIA processor with 600 megahertz, 128 megabytes of RAM, and 2 gigabytes of storage, so it's not a lot. It does, however, as earlier indicated, an expansion slot. You can put up to 16 gigabytes of memory in there. Okay, let's just stop playing. And let's go back. Alright, and then there is file browser. There's settings, Wi-Fi settings. Now, again, if you run a lot of these apps, the Wi-Fi network might actually drop. And you would think that you can just go into the Wi-Fi settings, turn it on, turn it off to get your network back. It's not true. You will have to power cycle the unit. They did include the package manager, which allow you to uninstall or install different apps. One app that's pretty good actually is the Google Maps app. Now, if you always have Wi-Fi already, then you don't need to bring a physical map, and then you can just make it larger, or you can make it smaller. But again, as you can see, it's not multi-touch. Okay, it's one of the older touchscreen technologies. Okay. Now they also loaded some other software like contact list, live recording, which is let you record your voice, Skype beta, a camera function, which is really weird. Let's show you. Now notice the camera is in the top of the unit right here. As you can see, the camera is trying to panning down this camcorder. I'm using it to record this thing. But did you notice on this side, these are picture frames, very Asian of design. The Asians, we always love to have, you know, frames with, you know, the signs like love, Mickey Mouse, or, you know, some crazy backgrounds. I personally don't care for it. So let's just cancel it. The next is the camcorder, similar to the camera. You know, you take a picture. And then this is a Tendu application. It supposedly be like a PPTV series. You can watch Chinese movies series online, but haven't got it working, so it probably won't work. It had YouTube application on there, but it never worked. It always will give you an error code whenever you try to go in. Stocks, pretty simple. It tells you, you know, since it's a Chinese product, the preset is the Shanghai Stock Index, Alibaba, and Google. Makes sense, right? And then I use it as alarm clock, and then there's a Magic album application. Now let's go into a next desktop. As you can see, it has the typical Google clock. It has the power controls here, which this one controls the brightness of the screen. Nice little function. And this turns on and off your wireless. Now this does have a sensor that can rotate screen automatically, but I disable it because I find it not to be very accurate. So instead, I manually control whether I want to rotate the screen or not. I will put it on landscape or portrait mode like this, you know, especially if I want to read an ebook. Okay, so what do you get for $99? Well, you get the iPad clone. They call it iPad, you know. They don't even try to make it look like Apple anymore. There's no Apple sign anywhere. In fact, it says designed and made in China. So they're not trying to, you know, rip off completely Apple's iPad. And it ships in a so-called MID box. It has a picture of their early models, similar to the EK101 series. With the specs, it tells you that it's Google Android OS, 128 megabytes of DDR RAM, 7-inch screen, 16:9, 800 by 480 resolution, high brightness TFT LCD screen, full-size touch screen. Storage is 2 GB. They do have a 4 GB version. Couldn't find it on eBay, but I'm sure there's a lot of other Chinese, what I call clones out there, so I'm sure you can do that. For network, there's a built-in wireless AO2.11b and G, sound effects, stereo speakers built-in, microphone built-in, speaker output, and it can take up to 32 GB of memory expansion. It comes with a pretty thick instruction book. One side is in English, one side is in Chinese. I try to go through the English version of the instruction. The writing is not bad. You can see that somebody probably, you know, who lived or works, or actually who lives in the United States, probably wrote this instruction. It's not one of these Google Translate jobs. Inside, since I bought it on eBay, this company was good enough to give me a warranty card, supposedly to have 2-year warranty on this. So let's say if I try to sell it on eBay again, I can say 2-year warranty. Okay, another plastic cover. The unit itself came on this plastic protection sheet. It gave you one of these screen cleaners. I haven't used it yet since I did not take the plastic protection sheet off the screen. Pair of headsets and the iPod-ish USB connector that you can plug into your computer and then transfer files and charge this unit. And it comes with a stylus. The weird thing is there's nowhere to put this stylus in the unit, so you have to carry it, and you're probably going to lose it. Anyway, most of us will not even use it. This is a micro SD adapter for USB. So you plug this in, plug the micro SD in here. You can transfer file as well. I'm not going to open that too because, as I said, I'm not too impressed with this unit. So it's more than likely that I will try to sell it on eBay. So overall, I will give this unit like 5 out of 10. 10 being the best, 0 being the worst. It's slow, so it takes a point off. It has limited apps, and as you can see, you see this app store right there? It's one of these imitation Chinese fake app stores. It's not the Android market. You cannot log into the Android market with this device. So that's 2 points off right there. And the screen resolution is poor, so that's 3 points off. The wireless, that's 4 points off. I mean, it does come back every time you turn it on, but you know, 2 years, 3 years, 6 months, you know, it might just die on you, let's put it that way. And finally, I just don't like the limitation of the application that's already in there.